All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Barma. The headlines. Scrutiny of nominations for fifth and final phase of Jharkhand Assembly elections to be taken up today. Fourth round of Regional Connectivity Scheme UDAN launched with focus on Northeast, Hilly States, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Uttar Pradesh government announces subsidy and stamp duty waiver for setting up defence industry in the states. TRAI revamps mobile number portability rules for making process faster and simpler. And in South Asian Games, Indian women's football team beat Maldives 5-0 in Pokhara, Nepal. In Jharkhand, scrutiny of nomination papers for the fifth and final phase of assembly elections will be taken up today. Last day for withdrawal of candidature is Friday. A total of 289 candidates have filed nominations for this phase. 119 candidates filed their nominations on the last day yesterday. Polling for this phase will be held on the 20th of this month in 16 constituencies spread over 6 districts of Santhal Pargana region. Meanwhile, campaigning is in full swing in poll-bound constituencies for the second phase. 20 constituencies spread over 7 districts will go to polls in this phase on Saturday. Our correspondent reports that campaigning for the second phase will conclude tomorrow.
Leaders of all major political parties including BJP, Congress, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, All Jharkhand Students Union, Jharkhand Vikas Morcha have intensified canvassing. RJD, LJP, JDU, BSP and leaders of left parties also holding public meetings to garner support of voters. Senior leaders like JP Nadda, Raghuvar Das, Shibu Soren, Hemant Soren, Babulal Marandi and Sudesh Mahato will also hold political rallies. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Ranchi.
In Karnataka, all arrangements have been put in place for the by-polls to 15 assembly constituencies tomorrow. The state government has declared a holiday to all government offices, schools and colleges in the constituencies going for polls. For these by-polls, over 42,000 poll personnel have been deputed for the election duty. More from our correspondent.
The state witnessed one of the furious electoral campaigning for this by-election. FIRs were filed against several senior leaders from BJP and Congress for model code of conduct violations. It is a do-or-die election for the BJP and an opportunity to stake claim to form the government for the Congress. The BJP is averse to the attempts of Congress to form the government again with the help of JDS, and Congress is angry because many of its MLAs left the party and joined BJP. The results on December 9 will tell us the voters' choice. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The Election Commission will implement political parties registration tracking management system. It will be implemented through an online portal to facilitate tracking of status of application by applicants. The Commission said the applicant who is applying for party registration from 1st January 2020 onwards will be able to track the progress of application and will get status update through SMS and email. The government has launched the fourth round of Regional Connectivity Scheme UDAN, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, to further enhance the connectivity to remote and regional areas of the country. Civil Aviation Ministry yesterday said the focus in this round will be Northeast region, Hilly States, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh and Islands. A report.
The scheme was launched in October 2016 to provide connectivity to unserved and underserved regions through revival of existing airstrips and airports. In the last 3 years, government has successfully completed 3 rounds of bidding under the scheme and awarded about 700 routes. The ministry aims to operationalize 1,000 routes and more than 100 airports in the next 5 years. The scheme is likely to give a major boost to tourism activities and employment generation in hinterland. With Anand Kumar's report, Sarabjit Kaur, AIR News, Delhi.
Parliament has passed the Special Protection Group Amendment Bill 2019 with the Rajya Sabha approving it. The Lok Sabha has already passed the bill. The proposed amendments in the SPG bill will provide security to the Prime Minister and members of his immediate family residing with him at his official residence. It will also provide security for a period of 5 years to former Prime Ministers and his immediate family members residing with them at the residence allotted to them. Replying to the discussion, Home Minister Amit Shah said the SPG cover cannot go on endlessly for a particular family in a democracy.
अभी मनमोहन सिंह की भी सुरक्षा को हटाकर Z+ प्रोटेक्टी किया। कांग्रेस ने कोई हाय तौबा नहीं मचाई। अगर डेमोक्रेसी के शासन में जी रहे, लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था में जी रहे हैं, तो कानून सबके लिए बराबर होता है, मान्यवर, एक परिवार के लिए विशेष नहीं होता।
Parliament has also passed the Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu Merger of Union Territories Bill 2019. The bill provides for the merger of the Union Territories of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. It is aimed at providing better delivery of services to citizens of both the UTs by improving efficiency and reduction in paperwork and administrative expenditure. The Corporate Affairs Ministry has deactivated more than 19 lakh direct identification numbers DIN. The step was taken as the individuals concerned failed to file KYC details under the company's law. Minister of State for Finance and Corporate Affairs Anurag Thakur said this in a written reply in Rajya Sabha yesterday. Individuals are required to have a DIN issued by the ministry in order to serve as a board member of a company. Mr. Thakur said, as on 28th of November this year, more than 19,40,000 DINs have been deactivated due to non-filing of Know Your Client KYC. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alert. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com. Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, has revamped mobile number portability rules, making the entire process faster and simpler. The TRAI has prescribed 3 working days timeline for port-out requests within a service area. Similarly, timeline of 5 working days has been prescribed for requests for port-out from one circle to another. The new rules will come into effect from 16th December. Validity of the unique porting code has also been brought down to 4 days instead of a fortnight earlier. It will be applicable to all circles except Jammu and Kashmir, Assam and Northeast, where the validity of the said code remains unchanged to 30 days. The government has revised the stock limit of onion for retailers and wholesalers in view of its rising prices. Now the stock holding limit for retailers has been reduced to 5 tons and for wholesalers to 25 tons. The decision has been taken to augment availability of onion in open market. The revised stock holding limit will not be applicable for imported onions. Earlier, retailers were allowed to hold onion stock up to 10 tons and wholesalers up to 50 tons. Uttar Pradesh government has decided to provide 25% subsidy and 100% stamp duty waiver for setting up defence industry in the state. The state will also provide all facilities including power, road and fencing of land to the companies that will set up defence industries. The decision was taken at a cabinet meeting chaired by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Our correspondent reports that the state cabinet also took major decisions in view of stuck real estate projects.
In another big decision, State Cabinet has given relief to the home buyers in Noida and Greater Noida region by giving exemption to the builders from penal interest and other dues for the period their project is stalled due to litigation. Builders will only get this exemption if they pass on this benefit to the home buyers. Elaborating the decision after Cabinet meet in Lucknow, Industrial Development Minister Satish Mahana said that the benefit will apply to builders who are set to provide homes to buyers by June 2021. The state government expected 1 lakh new homes to be constructed by that time. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
48 universities and higher educational institutions have been given the 3rd Swachhata Ranking Awards. The awards were given in various categories like residential universities, non-residential universities, technical universities, residential colleges and government universities at a function in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, Human Resource Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said, students are emerging as change agents in the field of Swachhata. He said, the ranking system is based on various parameters of hygiene like student toilet ratio, hostel hygiene, water conservation measures, campus greenery and administrative responsibility for hygiene. The central government and Asian Development Bank have signed a $206 million loan agreement to develop water supply and sewerage infrastructure in 5 cities of Tamil Nadu. It will strengthen capacities of urban local bodies for improved service delivery. The project will target 4 cities, namely Ambur, Tiruchirappalli, Tirupur and Vellore, for developing sewage collection and treatment and drainage systems. Improvement to water supply systems would be targeted in the cities of Madurai and Tirupur. The Income Tax Department has processed as many as 2.1 crore tax refund cases till 28 November during the current fiscal. It is 20% more as compared to refund returns during the same period last year. Central Board of Direct Taxation (CBDT) said the total amount of refunds issued in 2019-20 till 28th November was 1.46 lakh crore rupees as compared to 1.19 lakh crore rupees in the same period of last year. The Economic Offences Wing of Mumbai Police has arrested 3 directors of Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative PMC Bank. Jagdish Mukti Babisi and Trupti Bane were arrested following extensive interrogation in connection with the PMC scam case. It has now taken the number of persons arrested in the case to 12. King of Sweden Carl Gustaf Folk Ubertus and Queen Silvia Renate Sommerlath will be on a day-long visit to Mumbai today. The royal couple, accompanied by a delegation, will have a luncheon meeting with Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari. They are also likely to participate in a beach cleaning program and visit Dorset School for underprivileged children. Navy Day is being celebrated today. The day is celebrated in honor of the Maritime Forces role during the war with Pakistan in 1971. Indian warships had attacked Karachi port and successfully thwarted Pakistani operations in the western coast during the war. The day is also celebrated to highlight the achievements and role the Navy plays in securing the country's marine borders. Google co-founder Larry Page and Sergey Brin have announced that they are stepping down from the leadership role of the parent company, Alphabet. Google CEO, Indian-American Sundar Pichai, will be assuming the role of Alphabet CEO, making him one of the most powerful corporate leaders of the world. An announcement in this regard was made by Page and Brin in a letter to the company employees. Indian women football team got its South Asian Games 2019 campaign off to a winning start as it sealed a thumping 5-0 win over the Maldives yesterday. Bala Devi struck a brace, while Dangmai Grace, Manisha and Jabmani Tudu scored a goal apiece to hand the team 3 points at the Pokhara Stadium in Nepal. The win puts India on the top of the points table, with host Nepal grabbing a 1-0 win over Sri Lanka in the opening match of the day. India will next face Sri Lanka at 9:45 a.m. tomorrow. And now, for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Subha Kaul.
Thank you, Sunil. The passing of the Rajya Sabha of a bill to amend the Special Protection Group Act is the front page story in most dailies. Parliament amends SPG Act, Government denies vendetta, is the headline in Hindustan Times. The government has begun discussions with states for a possible revamp of GST, writes the Times of India, while the Hindu reports that the centre has written to all the states warning that lower GST collection means not enough for states' compensation. The top stories in the Indian Express and the Pioneer talk about the locating of the debris of Vikram lander by Indian-born scientist Shamunga Subramanian, with photographs of both the scientist and the location of the impact site appearing on the front page of many newspapers. In a front-page report, The Hindu writes that from 16th December, mobile users will be able to switch telecom service providers while retaining their number within 5 days. Hindustan Times reports that malaria deaths in India are below 10,000 for the first time ever. And finally, the Asian Age quotes United Nations as saying that this decade is said to be the hottest in history. And with that, it's back to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Subka. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Scrutiny of nominations for 5th and final phase of Jharkhand Assembly elections to be taken up today. 4th round of Regional Connectivity Scheme UDAN launched with focus on Northeast, Hilly States, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Uttar Pradesh government announces subsidy and stamp duty waiver for setting up defence industry in the state. TRAI revamps mobile number portability rules for making process faster and simpler. And in South Asian Games, Indian women's football team beat Maldives 5-0 in Pokhara, Nepal. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.